I'll give it just a minute for everybody to get on here. Okay, guys, I'm just waiting. Just sitting here. Give y'all a minute. See if anybody actually is out there waiting. Yeah, there's people starting to pop in now. Hey, Becky. Good to see you, girl. Orphan Lady. JM at the Nut House. We are here. Love you guys. Hey, Jen. Dolores Palladino. Hey, girl. Good to see all y'all in here tonight. All things good. William McFadden, Dolly Perry, Barbara Nelson. Whoa, man, the chat just took off in like Mach 4. Oh, man, they are pouring in faster than I can even. I've never seen it go this fast. Cool. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for everything. All I can say is thank y'all for the prayers. I mean, and thank y'all for the love you're showing. I know you've been praying because I'll be honest with you, uh, we could feel the prayers. You know, wow, there's already 124 people and I just got on. Okay. Um, gosh, y'all, I don't know what to say. It's moving so fast until. Okay, I was gonna hold off and just say I was gonna wait till enough people got in the room to actually start doing anything, and I have no way of seeing how many people's in the room, but I know that I know that y'all are very good people because I'm gonna tell y'all what, we have felt the power of prayer from y'all over the last day. It has been, I guess the word. I used to be so good with words because I've been a public speaker for most of my life. Uh, it has been very moving. Uh, it was extremely stressful time, but it's amazing that when God's people get together and they actually begin to unite in prayer over a common cause, that it literally moves the throne of heaven. And as a result, Wanda and I could feel that. And I don't know how to express my gratitude for that other than just saying thank y'all. I really appreciate the fact that y'all did that for us, for bombarding the throne of God, because it was there for a few minutes. It was a touch and go situation for a few minutes. But what I'm going to do is I thought maybe, I mean, y'all got to understand, I've only had about an hour's sleep in the last couple of days. So I probably won't go the whole hour tonight, but I felt like it's only fair because of the love and the courtesy that y'all have shown to us that that I should come on live and that I should, as the old expression goes, hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Um, um, and yes, B lady, I was told that. Yeah, I do see that. I was told that you was ready to hop a plane and fly here immediately. And thank you so much. It's I love the group hug thing. Thank y'all. That's pretty kind. I guess the best thing for me to do is just start at the very beginning and kind of give y'all a little update and kind of let you know about what happened and how it happened, and just be honest with you. For several, actually, it's been going on for like several weeks. Wanda would tell me when she woke up in the morning, she'd say, I had this discomfort in the center of my chest last night, and it kind of woke me up several times, and I would mention to her, do we need to go to a doctor or something? And she says, no, no. It's probably just nothing. because we have been working a lot around here. You know, we've got all of our gardens in and stuff like that, and we kind of just brushed it off. But for the last 4 days, Wanda said that she's been feeling a lot of discomfort in the center of her chest, and then yesterday she told me, she said it's really getting to be to the point where it's really starting to bother me now. And and I told her, I said, well, do you want to go on to the doctor? And she said, yeah, I think I do. And we called a clinic here that does a pay scale thing, and they were closed down for renovation. Well, it hurt her. Let me say it just kind of hurt her. And she basically just said, well, I guess I just won't go to a doctor because it's going to cost too much, to go to a doctor. And I told her, I says, look, it doesn't matter how much it costs. I mean, because your life is worth more than what money is to me. So, but she wouldn't call a doctor. So I actually called my friend who is a doctor here in town, and they agreed to let us come in. And we went in and talked with the doctor, and from the things that she was telling him, he immediately assumed that it was probably some sort of a gastrointestinal issue, and he said, I'm going to give her a Novocaine type drink to drink it had an acid reflux medicine in with it. He said within minutes we should know if this pressure that she feels in her chest is gastrointestinal, esophageal related. Well, he gave that to her, and it did not take away the pressure that she was feeling inside her chest right here. So he said, well, we want to do an EKG just to look at it. And when he did the EKG, he came in and told us, he said, it's an abnormal EKG for what he sees. And I'm going to show you how the hand of God works. He just tore the thing off and wrote some messages on it, and he said, here, take her straight to the ER now. And so I immediately, took her to an ER. It's like an hour drive, but I took her to an ER an hour away. And when we got there, I gave her the paper that the doctor gave me. Of course, they immediately took her back, and they did their own EKG. And I never really knew what that EKG showed, but from that point, they moved us immediately on into the ER room. And when we got into the ER room there, they wanted to start going ahead and putting some needles in her arm, her left arm, to start an IV. And we got to understand, Wanda is in her mid-50s, and Wanda has never been in a hospital. Wanda has never been a patient. The closest thing she's ever come to being that is she had her first two children was in the hospital. And after her experience of having two kids in the hospital, she said this has never happened again. So she had 3 more of them at home rather than having to go back to a hospital. So she has never been sick enough. She's never had a broken bone. She's never had any of these issues to be in a hospital. So she really did not know what to expect when she went into the hospital. And she doesn't like being poked with needles to start with. And when they started sticking a needle in her arm, she wasn't even looking at it. She was actually talking to one of the other nurses there. And when the lady stuck her, it hurt. Well, Wanda jerked her arm, and when she did, the lady basically blew the vein. And because Wanda jerked her arm so hard, and she started bleeding down the arm pretty bad, and Wanda from that point began to kind of go out of consciousness a little bit, because she just does that. She faints when anything like that happens. And as she was going out, I was watching the monitor, and I noticed that her blood pressure had begun to drop extremely fast. And I watched it go from in the 60s down to the 50s, down to the 40s, down to the 30s, and then it went to the 20s. And I was watching the monitor, and then all of a sudden I noticed that there was just, it almost went to completely to zero, and I just seen that there was no heart activity hardly on the screen. And I just stepped out of the room because I was like, God, no, please, no, you know. And I had to regather my thoughts for a moment because I've had this happen on my previous wife, and I lost her. So I regathered my composure, you know, and stepped back into the room. And they were grabbing they don't do the paddle thing on the chest anymore. They put these pads on you now. They stick to you, and they actually hook electrodes to it, and they have a machine that they just push a button on. And I was sitting there watching all of this, and of course, they had people scrambling, and one doctor come in, and he was hollering, I want an 18 gauge needle here, I want a 20 gauge needle there, and of course, she was out of it at that moment, so they began to put other needles in her arms and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, they just rushed her out of the room, and I was just trying to keep up with them to where they were taking her, because I didn't know where they were taking her. And they took her to what was called a critical care room from that point. And when we got to the critical care room, I walked in, and I noticed the heart monitor and the blood pressure machine. Everything was coming back up pretty quick, and I just held her hand. You know, I told her, I said, just calm down. You know, everything's okay. You know, everything's going to be fine. And I stayed there with her for quite some time until she stabilized and came back around. And you know, and I realized at that point that maybe she was going to be okay. And I just kind of kept reassuring her that that she was going to be all right. And of course, from that point on, you know, it was kind of touched. It was. I felt a lot better. Wanda was coming around. She was kind of getting back to a little bit of her wit back in her. And I'll say within an hour, they probably moved us up to a room. And once we got to the room, you know, they come in and put a Holter monitor on her, and they come in and began to, you know, tell me what they were thinking about doing and what they thought might have happened and all this kind of stuff. And of course, there was no answered questions at that moment, so we had no clue about what actually was going on. Even though I was asking, they were giving me no answers. And what we realized was that the doctor came in later that night, and he said, I'll be setting you up for a nuclear stress test Saturday morning. He said, I've already ordered a CT scan of the brain for that night. So they took her away, done that, done a chest x-ray on her to make sure they were looking at her chest. And then they brought her back to the room, and they came in and gave her an aspirin. They gave her the shot in the stomach with cumin, and they gave her Lipitor just as a preventative for the night. And you know, we didn't sleep at all because it was very you know how it is being in a hospital. People were just in and out all night long checking everything. And of course, this morning at 7 o'clock, they came and got her and took her down, did the nuclear stress test on her. They called me and asked me could they do the MRI. They want to do an MRI of the brain, and I told them yes, you could do that. So they did the MRI of the brain, and I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not even looking at the chat because I'm just trying to focus on what I'm telling y'all. So don't think you're being slighted if I don't see the chat. But they took her back at 7 this morning, and they told me I probably would not see her until probably around 11 o'clock. And, you know, so I went on and got me some breakfast and ate it and came back and waited. And at around 10:30 and 11, they brought her back to the room. And, of course, from that point on, it was just a waiting game for us to wait and see what they, what was going to tell us. And I guess later toward the evening, I want to say probably about an hour or two after dinner, they did let her eat. I will say that. So once they let her eat, I knew they probably was not going to run any more tests because they allowed her to eat. And they came back. The doctor came in the room, and he was from India, sound like Pakistan or India one. They couldn't hardly understand him, but because I'm used to that type of language, I was able to understand him. And he basically said that the enzyme test that they did on the heart showed that she did not have a heart attack. They did the MRIs of the brain and everything, said she did not have a stroke or anything like that. That all came back negative, so that was all good. But the nuclear medicine test, the stress test that they did, they said we wouldn't know anything about that for a little while. And while they were out, I asked the doctor, would he do a thyroid test? Because I do know that a thyroid a lot of times will cause a feeling in the chest that will make you feel like you're having a heart attack. So he agreed to do that. And probably, I guess it was around 2:30 maybe. The doctor called back, or maybe 3 o'clock, maybe closer to 3 o'clock. The doctor called back, and he said that the nuclear stress test came back all negative. Said that everything looked good. She had no blockages anywhere. He said they did the thyroid test. Said it come back negative. He said we had absolutely no problems with any of that. He said what he wanted to do and what he would recommend was that because he had already allowed her to eat, he didn't want to keep us an extra day in the hospital, but he would like to see us come back Monday morning to the hospital where they could do a gallbladder test on her. He said, I don't think it's a gallbladder problem because I did a liver enzyme test, and the liver enzyme test all came back good. He said, but I have seen those tests come back good and somebody still have a gallbladder issue. He said, when we do the ultrasound on the gallbladder, if it does not show up anything, then what I will do is I will recommend you to a esophageal gastroenterologist to look at that part of you in there to see if possibly there's some acid reflux problems that maybe she's had for some time and it's causing some swelling of the esophagus that may be putting pressure on the breastbone. So that's what we're going to probably be doing Monday morning, is going back up there and letting them, do the ultrasound on the gallbladder because I'll just be honest with y'all. I mean, Wanda is my soulmate, and I don't care what it costs. I just want to make sure that that she has all these tests done, and that we know we went through the process of elimination, and we know what we're worried, what to be looking for, and what not to be looking for. So, that's basically where we're at right now. Now, Wanda is home here with me tonight, and she is going to come in and sit in here for just a minute because she's like everybody else here. She's like me. She's tired.
Hey guys.
So she's here, and if you want to show your love, then show your love. Thank y'all. I am looking at the chat now for a moment. I do see the donations, and thank y'all so much for the generosity that you've shown. While we were in the hospital, I don't have a smartphone or anything. All I have is a little track phone. And the only reason I have a track phone is if I'm off on the road and I'm driving and I have an issue, I can call somebody. So when we got to the hospital, we didn't have anybody's phone number with us except Danny and Leslie Fox from Scratch-Made Homestead. And I didn't know what to do to get the word out to anybody, so I called Danny And I asked Danny if he would get the word out for me because Danny and I are very close, and Leslie are very close, him and Wanda and all of us. And you know, and he took it from that point. Uh, and at one point, Wanda's daughter came in because a lot of people thought we were online,
and we weren't.
and we were not. Wanda's daughter Maggie came in.
I made her hack my account.
And we let her hack into our account. We gave her all the info, and she hacked into the account just so I could go on there and find Patera. Because Patera was another person we needed to get in contact with.
She was the only person I think I told I was going to the doctor, and I knew she was probably waiting for me to let her know.
Yeah.
And so I want to thank Patera for keeping people updated, and she did a good job. She called, she reassured, she talked, she helped Danny and I both through the last 24 hours because she's been through it.
She's been through the same exact thing with James as what we were going through. And, and it's not just Patera. I mean, I have, Julianne, Tommy, Alderman Farms, everybody was calling me and calling me. And Tommy was calling me every 2 hours because Tommy said, Danny, I want to get it right. Patera was checking in with me on a regular basis. She said, I want to get it right.
4 or 5 times.
I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say. Julianne called.
And bless John's heart. Y'all, I love John to death. And Julianne, too. They're just so sweet. And Julie said John was upset as much as anybody. And I'm like, okay. I said, I kept telling Danny, tell everybody I'm okay. Tell them I'm okay. And he wouldn't tell nobody I was okay.
Well, I really didn't have any way because I didn't want to hold up her daughter's phone by just keeping it logged into us because her daughter has a life too, So I told her, I said, just get the word out to these people. And I gave a couple of people my track phone number, which I did not. We left in such a hurry. I didn't have a charger or anything. And
he wouldn't come back by the house.
I would not come home. When the doctor told me to take her to the emergency room, she wanted me to bring her home and then go to the doctor. And I said, no. I said, we're going to the doctor now. So and I'm glad I did, to be honest with you. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and so we had Patera, we had Alderman Farms, we had Dirt Patch, Scratch Made. Am I missing somebody? I
think that's the only ones that was
big family.
Yeah, Brad from Big Family Homestead put up
and I don't know if there's other channels.
There may be other channels who done.
I don't know.
We don't know because we are. Look, I just got through fixing something for both of us to eat.
Yeah.
And because we've only been home just a short period of time, and I just come down here and sit down and turn this on, and because I felt like it's our responsibility to y'all because y'all showed so much love to us. That I would not miss going live for y'all.
Y'all, I know I felt really weird last night when I went out of it. I don't remember half of what Danny's talking about because it threw me for a loop. And I've never been in the hospital. And y'all, that throws me really big time. I know I've been hot and cold, y'all. Y'all have to forgive me because I go between being extremely hot and being extremely cold, and I was shaking so hard before they started the needle. I had already started shaking.
Yeah, she'd already started shaking.
And I was shaking so hard that they threw a warm blanket on me, and then when she poked me, I screamed. I think I said an ugly word.
You did. You said a real bad word.
I said an ugly word, and this is a family-friendly show.
This is a family-friendly thing, and I'm glad we were not filming at that moment. I would have had to done some editing.
Yeah, we didn't have a camera. We didn't have anything. We couldn't keep up with anything. And when she stuck me, I was still looking at somebody else talking. But all of a sudden, I could feel, I've passed out so much in my life, I feel it coming on.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I feel like I'm going to pass out. Well, they kept talking. And that's about all I remember. And waking up, I do remember a bump in a hallway.
Yeah.
And then later waking up and Danny wasn't in the room and I could hear him talking on the phone, which I thought he was talking to somebody. And when he finally walked in the room, I said, who's in the hallway? He said, nobody, I was on the phone. And I didn't realize I was out that long.
Yeah, she's out probably 30 minutes or better.
I didn't realize I was even out. And when we got to a room, when we got to a room, my mom
Yeah, once we got to the room, your mother, your two girls,
and my
your sister
came in, and then our pastor came in later and brought
Yeah.
Danny food. He
brought
called.
me something to eat because he called me and asked me because he knows I can't eat regular food from restaurants and stuff like that like most people do, and so I gave him a quick rundown on what I could eat, and he actually went around and got it for me and brought it so I could have supper because I hadn't eaten all day, and I'm reactive hypoglycemic, and if I don't have something, I myself have a problem. So
yeah, I see somebody's asked him which hospital. It was Forest General in Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
I think he's close. He knows where I'm talking about. It was very scary because I've never had, I mean, I had to keep asking them. When they were doing something, I said, so what do you need me to do? What do you, because I'm used to being the one that.
You're used to being the caretaker,
yeah,
not
I'm
the
used
one.
to saying, oh, calm down, do this. And I'm not used to having somebody do something to me.
Yeah, she's not a good patient, y'all. Let me tell you, she is not a good patient.
No, I'm not. And I kept saying, okay, you want my arm this way? Can I bend it? No, I can't. Okay, what do I do? Do I have to lay straight? Can I move? Y'all, I was just really rough. Wow. And I just had a tough time. And I'm going to tell y'all, we went with me having this chest issue, and it feels like it's not pain. It feels like pressure, like something is pushing from the inside out. And I've had it off and on, but it wouldn't last very long. But the last couple of days, it's got to where it's been a lot. And yesterday, it was the whole time. And it's still going. It hasn't went away yet.
Right.
And what really upset me this afternoon, I praise God that it was not my heart, or at least they're saying.
They're saying that it's not her heart. Yeah.
But I went to the hospital with this issue, and I came home with this issue. It is not fixed, and I didn't expect a quick fix.
Right, but they never told us why.
I have no why.
I mean, we're at home feeling the same exact way when we left home.
And I don't know that I would have flatlined if I'd have stayed home. I wouldn't have this huge medical bill if I'd stayed home. So y'all see where I'm coming from. I'm thankful to know it's not my heart, but it really aggravates me that I went with an issue, I come home with an issue and no answers. And I ended up, because I'm a bad patient. Y'all, my arms, I've got both. I don't know if they can see them.
Yeah,
this one and
she's all bruised. No, you got to come back over this way. Yeah, she's all bruised up in her arms and everything.
They stuck me, and these things hurt so bad. And somebody's saying it's probably the gallbladder. If it is, I'm hoping that's an easy fix. I mean, not really easy. I'm not looking forward to that either.
No, but it's kind of like I think it was a Tommy Alderman I was talking to. I told him, I said, it's kind of bittersweet this afternoon when I was talking to him. I said, because it's good that we know that maybe it's not her heart, because they ran all these tests and she didn't have a stroke, she didn't have a heart attack, and they say it's not her heart.
Yeah.
And that's the sweet part of it. But the bitter side of it is,
I still come home.
She come home feeling just like she did when she left.
Yeah, and I guess that's what hurt the most coming home. I got really
on the way home. She cried for like an hour, all the way from Hattiesburg to where we live at here at Wiggins. She cried all the way, and I kept asking her. I said, "Why are you crying?" And finally, she told me. She said, I don't know any more than I did when I left, and now we've got this huge medical bill that's
and I still got to go to doctors. But yeah, somebody's asking about flatline. I did flatline. I did. Yeah. I did have go out, but they did not shock me. I guess
they didn't shock her. She started coming back around on her own. Literally, her blood pressure dropped so low so fast. And me being around people who's done that before, I kind of feel like that's what happened. She just went into shock.
Yeah.
And her body had to recover from it.
And two, when I went out like that, it was just really kind of crazy. The Coumadin can give you hot flash. I was having hot flash.
She's been having hot flashes for months.
The last 3 weeks has been awful.
Yeah, been awful. Because at night she's like, I'm freezing, and the next moment she's throwing the cover off. Get this stuff off of me. It's just been. Yeah. Only a woman would understand that.
I don't have fibromyalgia that I know of. I mean, quite frankly, I don't go to the doctor. this is something that I was getting at a while ago. Even though I'm glad to know it's not my heart and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad we went to the hospital. That's not the issue. But what if there are no hospitals? What if we can't go to hospitals? It's almost getting to that point, because without insurance, if this hospital had not accepted me, I would have just had to come home anyway. And how are we going to deal with these issues ourselves with no doctors, because each one of you, think how many times you run to a doctor, or for little things.
Yeah, I mean, we don't go to a doctor unless it's absolutely an emergency.
What if we don't have this?
And if we don't if something happens and a life-changing event takes place, and there are no doctors to go to, then we've got to know how to diagnose these problems, and we've got to know how to fix them. It's like I told y'all the other day, I felt like something was going on and something was going to happen. If you notice, the very next morning, we had already attacked Syria.
Yeah.
So there's things coming, guys. I'm going to tell y'all now, go ahead and prepare, because in the next short while, there's going to be some things happening that probably might change things. I'm not going to go any further than that, because that's not what this is about tonight. Who is it? Huh? Oh.
It's just.
But we're, y'all have to excuse the phone in the background, because honestly, I'm not answering the phone right now.
Yeah, I saw Miss Big Lady sent something about flowers. I was seeing that a while ago. Yeah. I crack jokes too, even though I'm upset lots of times. And
yeah, well, that's her way of remaining calm.
Yeah, I think Patera's the one that asked last night, probably within an hour. We were in the room by that time.
Yeah.
Patera asked Danny, asked Wanda, did she see the light? And I said, well, I didn't see heaven or hell. And Danny said there must be a purgatory. Yeah. So there must be an in-between place, because I didn't see heaven or hell.
Yeah, we were joking about that. That become a joke to us.
When I went out, I didn't see anything. I did see the light above me to start with. And I remember a bump in a hallway, and coming back and I guess a different room. That's all I remember. So, but I'm fixing to go to bed, but I just wanted you guys to know I appreciate I haven't had time to read comments. I haven't had time to do all this, but maybe tomorrow I'll get to watch. I don't even know who all sent messages. I don't know all.
We haven't checked messages. We haven't checked anything, so y'all forgive us if.
And the video that was up today was already up. We did that a couple of days ago and put it up and had it scheduled.
Yeah.
And I just thank everybody that sent messages. PayPal, I think Julianne sent people to PayPal. I hadn't had time to really check a lot of that. I will do that after a while, or maybe not after a while.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow we'll look at everything, and just know that I may not answer everything, but I do realize you guys are so special, and we've got so many friends here, and that's all I really wanted to tell y'all. Is it's been exhausting, and I'm going to bed, and I still have the issue in my chest. It's not went away, but we're gonna explore avenues.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, we're gonna.
But I'm going to go to bed, and I thank all the channels that supported us and sent out messages and got our message out for us, because I couldn't do it, Yeah. And so thank you guys.
Thank y'all so much.
I'll let Danny talk to you for a minute.
Unplug that phone when you go there. Thank y'all so much for what you do, and I'm looking at the comments a little bit now, and we just want to tell y'all how much we appreciate y'all and how much we love you for showing the love that you show, and doing what you do. I mean, Wanda's, somebody's trying to call right now, and Wanda is in no mood to talk to anybody about anything. So we're not going to be answering the phone. Let me just go ahead and tell you all that. But because I feel like I've told everything here that I need to tell right at the moment. But we'll be getting some more videos back up here pretty soon. It may take us a day or two to get our feet back on the ground. We're, trying to figure out, most of all right now what we're going to do tomorrow, because it's one of those things that we've got to catch up on some rest. And when we catch up on our rest, then we'll be able to make better decisions. Because right now, like I said, we're just both tired, and we are trying to, just trying to get caught up on our rest. That's the best way I know how to put it. Because we're just like everybody else. We get tired, we get wore out, and I'm going to probably. The only reason I did this live stream tonight was to make sure that y'all get the truth. You hear it straight from me. Not to say that the people who was putting up videos didn't tell the truth. It's just that a lot of times people want to hear it straight from me. And I'm grateful to Tommy. I'm grateful to Danny Fox for calling Tommy. I'm grateful to Patera for every so often putting up something, letting people know how everything's going on. I'm grateful to Julianne. Julie is one of those that we spent so much time with her here, her and John, that they became like family to us. And when Wanda had that problem, I knew it hurt Julie because I could tell when I was talking on the phone to her how it hurt her, because she mentioned to me how it was affecting John, and that in a weird kind of way that blessed my heart, because we have this bond now, just like we do with Tommy and Patty and Danny and Leslie and all these people, Nikki and Fred, all those that's been here, Tommy from Off Grid Nation and Off Grid Kid, all these, huh? And Amanda from Freedom Acres. Look, Amanda called. She was fixing to get in the car right then and actually drive here last night. She goes, Amanda, y'all have to understand, Amanda looks at Wanda like an icon in her life, because, and it's not just Amanda. There's actually several people who's actually sent us messages that look at Wanda as being the Proverbs 31 wife, and y'all, I can tell you she is, and she blesses my heart every day. And the old saying goes, behind every good man is a good woman. Well, in my case, that's true, because Wanda is just a fantastic lady. She's the center of my life, and I've done my best to be there for her even with my issues. I've done my best to be there for her as much as I can, and I plan to continue to do that. And B Lady, yeah, B Lady was actually going to get in a plane and fly here. So it wasn't. That's what I'm telling y'all. There was a lot of people that I know of that's talked to me, because I don't know a lot about what people have said. I just know what people have told me, because we haven't had no way to get on the media, the public media here. So I was told about B Lady, and Amanda called me herself and told me, and I heard from other people about they were ready to just head here. Tommy's like, dude, brother, I'm only an hour and a half away. I'll be there if you need me, and don't be full of pride. I'll come right now if you want me to. And him and Patty and all them, and Danny Fox asked me, said, brother, we'll come over to your house right now. We'll take care of everything you need to take care of, and y'all, look, that meant the world to us. That gave us the ability to actually sit down and sleep last night, what little we could sleep. Like I said, we only got like an hour, maybe 2 hours of sleep last night, but there was a peace that came over us, because we knew that if we needed somebody, they would have come. And that's what Wanda and I, that's what our dream has been with building this YouTube community. It has been not for our sake, really, because in the beginning we never anticipated anything like this for us. But our deal was to build a community for you guys, so that people who live close to you, if you had issues or needed help, that there would be a YouTube community out there where you could go to it and say, okay, like where we are, we have Tommy Alderman, we have Scratch-Made Homestead, we have Fred and Nikki from Addie Girls. We have all these, we have Sustenance and Covering here on the coast, and we got Rusty from up here in Hattiesburg. We've got all these different people that, and I could keep going on. We have some over in Henley Field that's been here. We've got 2.67 who's been here. All these people, Mr. Joe, Wallace Knife Works has been here. All these people have told us, if at any moment you ever need us, just let us know and we'll just come. And that is more of a blessing than we ever imagined, because we didn't start doing YouTube to have this happen. And because it has happened, it has shown us that our effort to help build this YouTube community has worked, because I believe that this is what God intends for His people to do, is to come together and to help one another in a time of crisis. And it blesses my heart to be a part of a community that's willing to do that. And I may sound like I'm a little hesitant with my words tonight, but it's just simply because I want to make sure that I choose the right words to speak. I don't want to just say something that's not right for the moment. But thank y'all. And yeah, Rusty, I do see your comment. We are here for you if you need anything. I'm not far away at all. And my friend, I appreciate that. And B Lady, yeah, I appreciate that. I've purposely not watched the chat tonight and focused mainly on the screen. Yes. Oh, I will. And I also, Wanda keeps hollering at me from the background here, because there's so many people. I've talked to so many people, but everybody was calling, asking, what are we doing about the animals? What are we doing about our farm and all this kind of stuff? Well, y'all, I have a neighbor who lives next to me who he's retired military, and he's a brother in Christ, and he's as good as gold, and he's just as solid as you get, And I called him at 10 o'clock last night, and I asked him. I said, my brother, his name is Daryl. I said, Daryl, I said, can you go by the house and feed my animals and water my animals? And without a hesitation, he told me, he says, not a problem. I got to go to work in the morning, but I will go by before I go to work, and I will take care of your animals. And early this morning, right after daybreak, he called me, and I walked him through everything here on the farm as to what he needed to do, and he done it for us. And I want to, if Daryl sees this, or if he happens to be watching, he could be watching, and I don't even know. But Daryl, thank you for coming by and taking care of our animals for us, because we had so many people who said they would come do it if we couldn't find somebody. But Daryl came by and he did it, and he was a blessing to us from God. Him and Kristen and his kids they're wonderful people. Y'all have seen him in some of our videos. He's come over and helped me do some things in some of the videos. So, he's been a blessing. Gosh, y'all, I didn't plan on staying on an hour tonight, but thank y'all once again. And I was just looking at the chat here for just a moment to, yeah, Wanda's PayPal is that is accurate. The PO box is accurate. Let's see here. Yeah, Scratch, Daryl rocks. He does. He's a good neighbor. I guess y'all must be talking about the admins on here, because I see people talking about Blue or the admins for the channel. Yeah, they have wrenches. They're they're our go-tos. If we need anything done, they can post up our web information or anything like that. Um, you know, we're just we're thankful. Thank y'all. I'll tell y'all now because I'm not like Wanda types in everything after the chat's over and when the live stream goes down. I'm just going to tell you now to my moderators that are on here, thank y'all for all that you do. And Grizz270, love that video you did about the 30 things that you people didn't know about you. Uh, I really enjoyed that because I always see you on here and I never knew who you were until I actually went and watched that video. And that I always like to see a face behind everything because it's like I always tell y'all, y'all always know what we look like, but we never know what y'all look like, you know. And Wanda and I was actually in Walmart here a while back, and we were talking to a guy over some RV parts there that we were looking at, and we overheard somebody in the store say, "Oh, I know that voice. That's Deep South Homestead." And this lady comes around the corner and she sees us and she goes, "Oh, Danny and Wanda, what are you doing at my Walmart?" And I told her, I says, "Ma'am, the truth of the matter is this is our Walmart too." And come to find out, her name was Miss Teresa, if I'm not mistaken. She doesn't live very far from us here, and we got to meet another one of our subscribers, and that was such a blessing. But I'm looking at the chat here. Yes, Susan, we're praying that Jesus does give Wanda peaceful rest and comfort from this point on, and we're praying that whatever is going on will subside and that she will be able to um, she'll be able to get back to her regular self. And y'all, I'm gonna say something right now. We have another video up. It's not on our channel. It's on Empty Hammock's channel. Some of y'all have probably already went over and seen it. Rusty, yes, she's going to the GI. Well, we're going back to the hospital in Hattiesburg. They told us to come back to the hospital for the test. But Empty Hammock done a documentary on Wanda and I. So if you want to see mine and Wanda's actually our life story put in a video that's really done well, go over to Empty Hammock's channel and watch our series over there. And it'll explain to you a little bit about me and Wanda, a little bit about our life, and you know how we came to be, and a little bit about who we are. And I want to thank Barry for actually doing that documentary on us. He done a fantastic job. And bless Barry's channel with the view, if y'all will, because he was a blessing to us for actually making that video. So, yes, Two Family Homestead, it is amazing. And I'm not saying it because it's us. I'm saying it because his editing skills were amazing. So, let me just say this. We done the documentary, Wanda and I did, because our goal in life is to reach a lot of people for the gospel and to let people know that even though there is hardships in life, there's still hope. There are those out there that's lost spouses like I have. There are those out there who's been through divorce like I have. There are those out there that have suffered many physical issues, many mental issues, and all this kind of stuff. And Wanda and I did this documentary with Barry just because we wanted to let people know that even though you face troubles in life and you face trials and tribulations, God can still use you, and there is still hope for your life. So, you know, that's why we done this documentary. We didn't do it to bring any kind of glory to ourselves. We done it to glorify God and to bless our fellow brother and sister with hope. And we knew that Barry's editing skills was out of this world, so we agreed we agreed to do the video with Barry because we knew he would give it justice. So if y'all will, go over and show Barry some love and watch that video, and maybe it will bless your heart, and maybe it will give you hope, because that's why we done it. So anyway, guys, it's like 12 minutes till Zach comes on, so I'm actually going to get off because I got to go chill out for a little while and get my own rest. And y'all, yes, Roxanne, God is using Deep South Homestead. Sometimes we wonder why things are going on here the way they are, but Wanda and I always just sit back and say, you know what? We just love the Lord. And if he chooses to use us, then we're honored. And we're humbled at the same time, because our mission in life is to glorify our Savior and to spread the gospel and to bring glory to the kingdom of heaven. And we don't ever push our religion off on anybody. But at the same time, I don't want to stand at the bema or the great white throne judgment and ever have one of y'all look at me and say, Danny, you never told me about heaven. I don't want that on my shoulders, because I'm a watchman on the wall. And the Bible says that if a watchman on the wall sees something happening and he does not tell the people, then their blood is on his hands. And my friends, I don't want that blood on my hands. I'm sitting here today telling y'all that you have a Savior. If you will accept him into your heart, this conversation that you and I are carrying on tonight, when we're in heaven, we can all be united in one group, and we can sit down and we can talk about when we used to live stream. You know, wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't it be awesome that if we were all born again believers, and that when we get to heaven, we can actually sit down as a group and not have to go over the internet and do it. We can look at one another face to face. So my desire is that all of our subscribers would come to know Christ as their personal Savior. That's why Wanda and I do YouTube. And to also leave a legacy for my children. So, okay, it's 10 minutes till. Y'all go show Zach some love here in a few minutes. We're going to get off and give y'all time to get over to Zach's channel, maybe go to the bathroom, go get you something to eat, maybe a snack or whatever. But I'm going to tell y'all, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for all that you've done tonight. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for the comments. I don't know what else to say, but I love y'all. And y'all are in mine and Wanda's prayers as much as we're in y'all's. So before I leave, a quick word of prayer, and I'm going to sign off. Father, thank you today for these people, Lord. They have shown a generous amount of gratitude and love toward Wanda and I. It's a debt, Father, that there's no way we can ever repay. Father, the only way we could repay it is to tell them about you. And Lord, to keep going on day after day and trying to show them that there is an easier way to live a life, that they can provide their own food. As Psalms 128 says, blessed is a man, who produces his own food. And Lord, and how he talks about how his household is blessed, how his children will be like shoots round about the table. His wife will be like an olive branch or an olive vine that's planted in the innermost parts of the house, Lord. She'll flourish. And Father, that they'll always know good. They'll never know bad. And all these kind of things, Lord, is in Psalms 128. And Father, that's why we do this. And I pray this blessing upon all these people that's here tonight. I want to thank you for them. I want to tell you how much I love them. I want you to bless their life, Father. Tonight, I don't want it to be about me or Wanda. I want it to be about the people who have come on here, Father, because we love these people. Father, they're our life. They're why we do this, Father. That's all I can say. And Father, thank you for using us in a way to help reach people and to be a blessing to others. And then, Lord, in return, thank you for being so gracious to these people and blessing them that they can reach out and bless us back. And Father, I just want to tell you that if any of them have problems tonight, Father, I want to pray for them. I want to ask you to bless their lives. If they're sick, I pray for healing. If they have strongholds in their life, Lord, I pray that they can be broken down and addictions can be overcome. I pray for strength for them. I pray for courage for them tonight, Lord. And Lord, tonight my prayer is for these people, Father. It's not for us because they've already prayed for us. And I want to, in return, pray for all these people, Father. I want you to bless them financially, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And in that, I'm going to say, I love you, Father, and I want to ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen. Okay, guys, I'm going to get off. I gotta get dishes done. I gotta get a little bit of rest and take care of my beautiful wife. Thank y'all for being on here tonight. We love y'all from Deep South Homestead.